Welcome back to the ESL Pro League. T-Squared and Ryu hanging out at the Xfinity desk. We want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, SanDisk, for making this season so awesome. We really appreciate the continued support. Also, ESL 1 is right around the corner, only a few days away, October 1st and 2nd. So join us at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, and that's 8 teams competing for $250,000. But the action doesn't stop there. There's a Street Fighter V Brooklyn beatdown also taking place. That's an open tournament with $75,000 up for grabs. For more information on that, ESL-1.com, check it out. But it's going to be C9 going up against Ryu Squad. That's Selfless Gaming. And yeah, C9, everyone knows the news by now. They did not beat Optic Gaming. They're coming in here #1 seed, trying to continue their awesome run that they've had so far in Season 4.
Yep, no surprises on the roster either. Nothing Shroud, Stewie, Skadoodle, and Automatic. Stewie continues to have very good performances. Obviously, I didn't have an opportunity to see how exactly they lost to Optic, and maybe he didn't play as well. But always expect big things from him. And then, the 5 we just saw from Selfless is going to be Caboose, Nifty, Mitch, No One, and Breeze is the correct pronunciation. It's not Breezy. I have that. Had Vince confirm that. It's Breeze, not Breezy. I think it's more fun to say Breezy, and Blue likes to have fun, so I'm okay if they go with Breezy for this one.
I also like saying Breezy as well. So, but it looks like the players are ready. You know, they obviously just got done playing, so they're ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to throw this on over to the casters, and we got everyone's favorite duo. It's Blaze.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I was a bit curious. Is he blaming me for mispronouncing Breezy at first, back when he was still like in Premiere? But
I have no idea, man. I didn't know about Breezy until like a week ago, so
yeah.
Nah, I'm just messing around.
Sorry, Mr. Breeze. We'll be sure to call you by your correct name from now on, since, any players are like the only ones I know too. They get like really mad if you call them by their wrong name.
Just keep butchering it.
Like like Ethan, like because his name is spelled backward. That's the thing.
Always mess it up.
That's the thing that triggers me the most is when they spell the name backwards and then they don't clarify if it's spelled backwards or forwards, and then they like yell at you if you don't pronounce it
when
backwards.
he first came to rank S, I was like, why is your name Naughty?
That's what I called him too.
Like, what? That is so weird. I've always thought about that. What if you just had the worst name, like something that I can't say on stream, but that was your alias, and then Blue's over here trying to shoutcast? Like, what would you do?
You just gotta go with it.
Just really offensive name.
Yeah, you just gotta go with it.
You would say it?
It's not your fault. Yeah.
You would say it?
Yeah, it's his name. It's not. Okay. I'm just saying what's on the screen.
A true professional.
Yeah, just I don't read into it. I just read what's on the screen. So
true professional.
My job. Well, it is going to be Selfless again taking on Cloud9. Do you think Cloud9's loss against Optic there in the best of 3, do you think that's going to affect them at all here, or do you think they're going to be able to bounce back?
I think it can go one of two ways. One of the ways is they're just like, we just lost a super important match. Now we're going up against this match that really isn't that important to us. Let's just run around. I'm kind of emo right now. Probably not, your comms, not the best. And then the other way it can go is like you're just pissed. And sometimes if you're pissed, it could be a very motivating factor.
Be that little bit of a rage factor too. Just like,
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know about that. So.
Well, not like rage, but like,
yeah,
we're gonna go in and kick some ass here.
Yeah,
essentially. Well,
absolutely.
We're live in the pistol round now. And Selfless, they're going to be starting off on the T side with Cloud9 jumping over to the CT side. Selfless will move in for a fast top mid take and also the secondary smoke too. We just like clockwork over here toward the ladder room, but Automatic shutting the first one down here, aiming for a second, can't grab it. And not only will we see No One grab that kill Automatic, but also Mitch is going to grab Skadoodle, and then Breeze picks up another one there against Nothing too. Shroud trades out one, but he's also going to get knocked out by Breeze, leaving it all in Stewie's hands. And 1v3, not looking great for him, but he goes right for it. Very, very fast on this pistol round. The first pickup for me, knows the second is back over here by the bench, but regardless, Nifty's going to shut it down. And the pistol will go into Selfless's hands.
Yeah, and Selfless is very, I think, pretty confident on Mirage. Every time we watch them, I think they put up good performances on it. They narrowly lost to Optic the last time we saw them play in an overtime game. And we saw Breeze got that USP in the ladder room, hit a pretty insane shot onto that A site. So credit to him, another nice shot. I believe it was on Shroud or something like that in that B site, and just really good job by them. Simple 4-1 cat and B split. Stewie has the deagle, always dangerous. And we'll see if the anti-eco can go Selfless's way.
Nifty already doing the early damage to automatic here too. Stewie just trying to pop back out with that deagle to find anybody over here from Selfless on top mid. Not the case though. They'll just go for the very slow amount of control they have now and look to slowly creep forward. In the meantime, the only other player that's not playing towards top mid is Mitch, and he's sneaking his way into the apartments here too to lead into what is now happening. Their eventual takeover here leading into the B-bomb site, and they're wasting no time going for it here. Breeze already finding that first one. Mitch actually does get knocked out there. The spray not favoring him, but the damage is done, of course, and we'll see Skadoodle get traded out after he finds that first kill. There's Stewie, though, with the deagle in the back, finding his first pickup, and also some good damage onto Breeze, but now no one moving back in there. He is going to shut things down, and again, the cleanup from Selfless. They go up 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0, full eco now for Cloud9. Good anti-eco there. A bit dangerous, though. Bit dangerous when you go towards Catwalk. Lot of rounds we see that the CTs win on their ecos with like 5-7s or deagles happen because that ladder room is so difficult to clear and trade on. Luckily for them, nobody from C9 was there, and they were able to just go up Catwalk, take long-range battles like they had planned, and win that round pretty cleanly, only losing 2 guys.
Nifty trying to hunt over here too. He spots that first player, but safety check over there towards the ticket booth, and he does get a secondary peek that moves out from the CT's area back over by the steps. No frag found though, and Mitch, again, they're doing little tidbits of damage here, but nothing significant. There we go. There's Stewie peeking back up from the steps though. He's going to find the first kill this round against Caboose. Breeze is able to trade it, but there's 2 more CTs waiting within that smoke, so he needs to be very careful. An automatic, great positioning. He's able to grab that another second kill for Cloud9, and essentially no consequences either. He just falls right back and regroups. So Selfless, a little bit of trouble cleaning up what should be a very straightforward round. It's the lightest investment we've seen yet from C9. Now, though, bigger nades are going to be rolled in from the Selfless side to push them back into a corner, clearing out the site a little bit more. If you try to tap away at these players, he does bring Skadoodle down very, very low, and Shroud 2, Nifty and Mitch cleaning things up quite nicely here now as Nifty grabs a nice headshot on the Stewie. Last one standing is Shroud, but they know exactly where he's at, so unless he just goes off right here, this will be the 3rd round from Selfless.
Yeah, and automatic getting a nice kill there to really help them come very close to winning this round. I mean, they only have 70 total health, or about 71 total health, something like that. So not a lot of bullets needed for Shroud to get 1 or 2 more kills. But you always want to have somebody like just watching bench, because bench is where people come through all the time whenever you do A smokes and can be a real thorn in your side. So if you just have a dedicated person watching that, and a lot of the time it's really good having somebody in halls watching it because you actually have a higher angle up. Instead, they don't really have somebody watching that very common spot. Automatic able to go through and get that kill made that round a lot more difficult than it probably had to be.
So now Selfless, again, getting their 3-0 start, will finally be tested a bit against C9 here with their buys rolling in. No op pickup just as of yet for the C9 roster. Going to be sticking with 5 rifles for now, and still the even split 3-2 as well. Sending automatic a little bit further out into the B-bomb site, kind of watching mid from Cat. No one in the window area though, and beyond that, the only other watchful eyes they have on mid is going to be Nothing, playing a little bit closer towards connector there. A lot more passive towards that angle. And for now, that seems to be justified, as Selfless is not really moving out towards it, but probably will be a little bit later on. Nifty in position, though. Try and spot early players from jungle. Almost had the opportunity to a second ago, but nothing being picked up just yet.
Yeah, and Cloud9 a very passive mid control, not only because they don't have that op, but that's usually just their setup. They usually give it up. I don't like this by Nifty, though. I don't like keeping the scout here. I think just having an A carry and op is a lot better. And one thing you always want to do if you're like Team Selfless is look at Skadoodle on those 2nd and 3rd rounds and see if he has any type of money or guns, as Nifty's taking a huge risk here, but ends up paying off so amazingly well, killing Stewie without him even looking at him. And now he is just in a great spot to make the round so much easier on his teammates. He just has to stay alive as long as possible here.
For the rest of Selfless here now as well, trying to work their way back in. Nifty does get taken down by Skadoodle back over here by Ticket. But now with only 30 seconds on the clock, Selfless are going to need to make a move into the site, and they just lost one of their first 2 players pushing into the apartments there. Shroud finding Breeze. Mitch is trying to trade this out here against Shroud, but he's got no reason to peek out at this point. They've got this in a 4-on-3. Automatic being cornered a little bit there as he tries to push back in, but that's going to open the way for Shroud. While Mitch does grab the kill, it's a fast trade. Shroud again punishing a 3rd player here, and Nothing wrapping back in from Cat to shut down Caboose. Clean shutout from C9 after those first few losses there. Full control of the B-side held, and Selfless just running the time down a little bit too low.
Yeah, and that was really oddly played by Selfless. After that entry at A, they made no noise at the other side of the map. They didn't try to go towards A or anything like that, which there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But Cloud9 had zero reaction. They just moved Skadoodle to CT spawn. They kept Jordan there. Tim was still on cat, automatic, and Shroud stayed at B. There was no reaction. So even though Nifty got that entry, after he died, it was just a 4v4, and his teammates didn't even have any positional advantage. Now it seems like they're going into like straight A smokes or something like that. But that round before, I just really don't like that keeping the scout. I don't like that playstyle that they did. They knew they were going only against M4s and maybe, you know, no op, since they should have kept track of Skadoodle's money, and you could take that round so much differently. Right now, just A take, great Molotov by Stewie. That's going to slow down the rush and hurt it a lot. Gets back into the A site, and looks like they're trying to plant inside the smoke. C9's seen this so many times before. As all these underhand smokes come, Stewie trying to use the smokes as a one-way. That's exactly what you want to do in that A site. And Skadoodle gets right on the bomb to defuse. He kept his USP, Blue. He kept his USP, ends up winning it, getting chased down by the knife. And I'm taking your job, man. How did you like that play-by-play?
Good job, man. Good job. Kept it very well controlled on the pacing there. Could have upped the hype a little bit, but it was just an eco round.
I'm just not the hype man, dude. I'm not the flavor flav.
It's an eco round, so you don't need to bring hype to the table.
Okay, I got you.
Those we can just chill out and, yeah, Selfless. I mean, they got the plan, but it just immediately got wrecked by the full-on defuse from Skadoodle. So.
But that's what you want to do. Did you see how Stewie uses their smokes against them? That's exactly what you want to do. The only way you're going to know how to do that, as Skadoodle gets that opener on Nifty, is by seeing that time and time again and knowing how to react to it, right? And once you know how to react to it, it actually becomes a pretty easy and routine hold. We used to see that on Inferno all the time. Remember the double pit smokes? People learned that you could jump onto Pope when those pit smokes happen and one-way the smokes. Very similar to what Stewie did. And once you know how to do that and react to it, it becomes a routine, easy hold.
And now Selfless already losing 2 of their players early on. A great early peak, as we mentioned before, from Skadoodle, pushing his way out to the lower area of the connector there. No one was expecting that wide of a push that early on, so completely wrecks one of them. He does take back some damage, but obviously still makes it out alive, and with half of his health pool. Now the remaining members of Selfless, they've got the mid control, but they aren't able to transition this into a site anytime soon. Not only have they been knocked out, but they haven't really gained any good intel by being knocked out here. Just in typical positions, we've seen these guys whittle down. They're going to try to push in. Nothing actually pushed into a corner. That's where Caboose is going to find his entry, but Stewie wrapping back in blinds both of them. However, Stewie a bit messy on the spray transfer. Caboose is able to get a response. In comes Skadoodle, though, stopping the rest of this push, and all of a sudden it goes to no one with only 10 HP. He's got plenty of time. That's not the issue. It's, of course, Skadoodle back over here by Ticket, and he's going to turn his back to him, getting that final kill, and again, allowing Cloud9 to tie things up at 3 rounds to all.
Yeah, and I actually think that is the weakness that I have seen in Cloud9's defense, is that they don't hold mid that heavy, right? And Automatic usually plays around the ladder room. And then Skadoodle usually goes back to CT spawn, while Stewie holds either default or balcony area, or under balc, fire site, something like that. And then Jordan's around jungle with an M4, kind of watching connector and the window boost, along with automatic. And I actually think that is what you could kind of abuse, just because when you're in that jungle area on an island, somebody could be holding you from halls, brings a lot of angles that you don't want to go through. Like, your movement is really, you know, you could be seen at any moment, right? When somebody's angled out at halls at you, and if you're coming up connector, there actually could be pretty decent T-sided angles. So after watching Cloud9, that's what I think is like the weakness in their setup.
The double boost inside of the window room actually does surprise nothing a little bit there. He manages to handle the first kill almost, but his teammate rolls in there from the Selfless side to bail things out. Again, though, the trades remain strong in the favor of C9. Stewie racking up a couple of frags here. Breezy with a rifle looking to trade himself, but still isolated in jungle. Cloud9 not even really aggressively trying to box these players into this room either. Still just playing to their positions on the sites. Even though they've lost nothing, everybody's looking in that direction, not letting them out. And because of the lack of an aggressive movement, Selfless are trying to figure out how exactly they'd like to play this. The bomb itself still being positioned over here on the catwalk area with a possible lead up into B. Could go either way at this point, but Breezy's kind of stuck himself now. He tries to peek out. He actually finds Stewie behind the pole there, taking him down. That's a great kill. He might get a second one here, too, as he takes a bit of a battle versus automatic. Really, though, just wasting this time. And ultimately, Mitch is going to have to win his first battle, but he gets just decked to the ground by Shroud there. Instantly wrecked. Now Shroud is going to even move in and finish off that final kill against Breeze.
Yeah, good job by Breeze doing some economical damage there. But the round does go Cloud9's way. But I do think that's probably the best way that you can win rounds against Cloud9 is having that Halls player make Stewie look at Halls while you split connector and kill Jordan. smoke off, spawn, flash Skadoodle so he can't make a play, and then focus the rest of your efforts onto Stewie. And if you mess around with him at the A ramp and the A halls so he doesn't know exactly where to look, then I think that's the best way to win around versus them. That's the weakness somewhat that I see, but it's much easier said than done, Blue.
So Selfless again, actually a lot faster in a connector this time, but prompt follow-up on the Molotov from the C9 roster here. They actually do catch Automatic, tossing out another smoke on the Cat, but no follow-up on that one at all. He tries to go for the spray, doesn't connect, and at the moment it's just everybody taking pot shots at the other team here. Caboose finding 1 kill, but again, traded by nothing here. They'll get themselves out into the site, but Cloud9 already in a good position to try and rotate back in. Skadoodle, though, peeking out there, missing his first shot. It's going to lose half of his HP, while his teammates are still getting into position. No one going to be able to trade that out anytime soon here. They wrap back in, nothing even being cautious, just a peek out from the Cubby over here in jungle itself. The deeper nade there does some early damage to no one. They need to start this soon, though. The bomb ticking away as they start to wrap back in. Nothing takes up position on the steps there. Spots the first player, almost gets knocked out. He's dinked, but we do see 3 fast kills out for C9, and it's all down to Mitch here, who holds, picks up not 1, but 2, tries to go for the 3rd, but Shroud on top of the triple stack closes things down. It'll come down to the timer here, but Cloud9 will have it with a kit, and they go up once again, 5-3.
Yeah, and a really good retake by Cloud9 there, but we've seen that consistently from Selfless. How many times have we seen them in the past week or so play Mirage, get the bomb down, and have that lurker towards middle, and that lurker towards middle is just never able to win his battle, and Cloud9 being so patient there, just getting that kill on him. I think it was Automatic from Catwalk, and that player at middle has an advantage. He should be able to get that kill. We see them all the time. Selfless has a guy middle or connector in post plant, never able to succeed there. And that's like a huge issue. That's something where you have the advantage, and once you win that battle, it puts so much more pressure on the CTs, and they never win the battle. They never do.
Caboose is even going to get hit early on in this round, too, as they try to cross out towards top mid through one of the opps. I believe Skadoodle in that case, bringing him down to just 17 HP. He moves up, though, gets the trade. Takes down nothing there and easily makes up for that one. But now Automatic having these players lined up. Caboose goes down. He spotted the second one pushing in and denies that early pressure onto the B-bomb site. Now again, Selfless. Same stories before. They're going to be isolated here in mid. Cloud9 will be free to shift their players accordingly.
Yeah, 4v4, and this is a smart move by them, man. When it's 4v4, it's really hard to watch that window boost, and a lot of time you can get some positional advantage, but this is a really weird setup. Mitch is outside of a ramp, and they might think A is clear because of the pushed up CT player, but they still have somebody in spawn, so this round can really just go either way.
And Stewie not even realizing, too, as he checks the other direction, that Mitch has pushed all the way up this direction. Now, though, he's got the possible flank lined up in a moment here. He's going to go very slowly towards it as the rest of the T's are also creeping in here, too. So being cautious as to not to run into any of them. But after a quick check back outside, he does wrap back up into the site, assuming things are clear. However, the secondary check is where he's going to take down Stewie. Now Automatic responds. This goes into a 2 versus 3 after Automatic picks up that kill against no one. The bomb is now down on the ground, and they've given them some time to be able to get into post-plant scenarios here. Automatic just try to check behind them, make sure that there's no flank, and Shroud takes up an early position on the bomb site. Guys from Selfless, though, giving them nothing, playing a very, very passive style here. Breezy moves in, not only grabs that first kill against Automatic, but he also picks up the second one on Shroud. Very well cleaned up by him, and he's so far actually been probably one of the better players in this post-plants for the Selfless roster.
And that was one of those situations where I guarantee you everybody on Selfless was saying, Stewie's still alive. There's still somebody around A, and that's why that kill happened. If that had been like Shroud or something who was pushed up A, there's no way they would have known he was there, because they really did clear almost everything, and timing was just really against Stewie there as Mitch just comes and peeks, and they just knew Stewie had to be around there somewhere since he is their dedicated A player.
For now, Selfless again, walking right up. No one, no flashbang, no smoke, nothing. No one just walks right up, kills Shroud. He's going to look for the second kill here, too, against Automatic. And there you go. The site already cleaning itself back up. We do see the market rotators moving in pretty quickly, though, and so that's where Skadoodle is going to be able to finish off no one. Breeze responding, though, and again, unfortunately on the Zico, Cloud9 just not looking all that hot at this point. Stewie, as the last man standing, has found himself on a cat position where he could possibly rack up a kill and a caboose here on the cross, but first shot fired, doesn't connect the kill. Now he's outmatched.
Yeah, they know exactly where he is, and no one challenging the Deagle Shroud. Great shots onto Mitch and Caboose. Whew, that's a dangerous deagle. Dangerous.
Nothing else following it up, thankfully, for the Selfless roster, but even that is great, as obviously Selfless themselves are still working with a bit of a fledgling economy. Just those rebuys bring them down so low. Mitch and Breeze now at 1350 and 800 respectively. No one the same thing, down to 500. If we see Cloud9 winning this force buy here, then they're probably going to immediately break them and again just retake control of the scenario.
And they have that Mag 7. Mag 7 can be very useful, but you really got to position it in the right spot. Curious to see where they're going to put it. Pretty sure it's up close A somewhere. Yeah, it is at that A ramp, and that could be a key here, man, as this A exec is happening, but Jordan's in great positioning.
He gets splashed initially, but there's a slow fall. The first shot doesn't connect a kill. He's getting these guys in 2x2 shots there. He only finds 1 kill, though, but it's a heavy light up onto Caboose. Now those smokes holding them back a little bit. It gives the CTs a bit of cover, but mainly now allows Selfless to push themselves up onto this bomb site. Also going to be able to get themselves into quick post plants, and actually the CTs don't even want to challenge the smokes and connector there, with Automatic and Skadoodle not wanting to push out against that, despite the fact that Shroud has partial control of jungle there. They're all going to hold within, wait the timer down a little bit. They're now clear to move out, but they've even got to be careful of flanks and whatnot. Nifty wrapping himself back around, I believe, towards underpass there. But ultimately, again, Cloud9 just gets so outmatched on that site take that I believe they're going to end up calling an early save here.
Yeah, and I actually think they probably should have won that round. Jordan just not able to connect with that Mag 7, man. It just sometimes it just doesn't work out for you. As we saw, he did 80 damage, I think, twice, and then got the follow-up kill on the first one, but just wasn't able to kill Caboose there. Had he gotten those kills cleanly, though, like, that's seriously around. He could have 3 or 4K'd, but just, you know, you need to kill him in one Mag 7 shot in order to have a big round like that. But positionally speaking, Cloud9 really outplayed them and should have won that round. Selfless did not do a good job there of using their, you know, utilities and their gun advantage.
And the buy will move in again here for C9. Double op still on the table here for Shroud and Skadoodle. Likely because of the saves, they are able to afford to go for it once more here. But obviously, again, things still looking a little bit rough for them now that Selfless takes the lead on T side, and they're going to change up their own game plan a little bit here. Normally only doing this on eco rounds up to this point, or anti-eco rounds, as I correct myself there, but they are finally going to decide to just rush right over here to the B-bomb site, and Shroud missing his first stop shot, certainly not going to help their case. Shroud does eventually pick one off here, but they'll lose Automatic back on Cat. Skadoodle's able to move in over here towards Market and grab another one, but Shroud's going to get peeked by Mitch around the corner there while he's still pulling out his gun. He gets knocked out. Skadoodle's holding the doorway entry point over here by Market, but again, can't push out against it just yet. So much utility still sitting in the Selfless arsenal here that they're going to toss out now, but Mitch making all that noise. That's going to give away his position to Skadoodle, even waiting for a second one. He's going to pick up another frag here now. 3 on the round itself, but no one. A quick 2 fast kills from him, but ultimately punished by Skadoodle. He gets a 4K on the round, and Cloud9 trade things out again to go 6-6.
Yeah, very fast and effective rotating there by Skadoodle. Shroud always goes back to that back left pillar, and nobody seems to have a clean answer for it. Even the kill that went on to him was something that probably should have been traded. But nobody was watching it, and I think it was Mitch just got right in his face. Skadoodle was able to kill him afterwards, as no one has a really good effort there. 2 really nice shots. After that, you just want to slow it down, though, after you get those 2 kills. Try to jiggle peek and make him waste his shot, and as long as you make him whiff there, you win the round almost every time. Now we just see another A rush out of Team Selfless, but Cloud9 is adapting to this so well, man. Jordan played that really well, getting into a safe position, and now they have a 3-on-5 retake setup. Stewie jumping up the stairs, getting that one, and now no one left all alone in the site, running over a Molotov, and that's just too easy for Cloud9.
So set up so well for trades there as well, as we saw them positionally, like you said, nothing falling back early on there, even for the one player they did end up losing. Yeah, they are able to very quickly correct that there, and basically flawless positions almost from C9 on that bomb site to deny Selfless of even getting close to finding a victory on that round.
Their ability to recognize that was a fast A was instant, and if you play against a team that can recognize that quickly and have teammates that know how to adapt to it and how to rotate into it, you're generally going to win that round cleanly the vast majority of the time.
But Selfless here now are going to be working with just the upgraded pistols that they've managed to scavenge together, saving up really for the last round of the half, but getting ready to surround the A-bomb site. Currently, nothing actually may find himself in a bit of a tricky spot there. Yep, not even checking that right side. No one peeks right out, shuts him in. And for Stewie, unfortunately, he's not going to place himself in a position where he can trade this anytime soon. I believe Nifty's also pushed. No, actually, he's still inside of Pals, as far as I can tell for now. Yep, still hanging out in there. But in the meantime, back over in mid, no one is also going to find a second kill here Now taking out Stewie from the equation. Automatic trying to peek towards mid, but there's no one again waiting for him. 3 kills on the round for him, and he's just single-handedly outclassing C9 here.
Yeah, and they need to make this difficult on Shroud, though. If they all just walk up or B here, he could definitely have a bigger round. So you want to make sure that whatever you do here, you can't let somebody just kill like 4 of you. You have to be good on the trade kills right now, and it's impossible to lose this. Cloud9 taking a calculated risk by both going up towards B, saying, hey, if you go B, we're probably going to win this round. You know, we could hold this 2v5. You don't have armor, you're on a low buy, or you're on a save. But Selfless reads it, go towards A, get a free plant. And I actually like that play by Cloud9 a lot. I think that's the right play to make. I don't think either player would have held their sight in order to win a round win in a 1v5 scenario, essentially. So I think it is better to just group up and hope they hit. Hope they hit where you are grouped up at.
Well, pay it out for the guys on C9 though. So again, just opting for the save instead, as they group up on the bomb site here. Skadoodle and Shroud looking to save, and it's a good thing they've done this too, as this would leave them with crap for money as they went into the final round there. So at least with this, they're going to have a little bit of firepower to go up against Selfless. However, some of these guns may still get dropped. Skadoodle's going to be challenged in a moment here. The flashbangs and smokes to try and hold them back. Skadoodle punishing up close with his pistol, but then misses the op shot. So he's going to lose it here. And Shroud as well. He's been surrounded, but he gets 2 quick kills against no one in Caboose. Able to save that rifle at the least, but Selfless again finding their 7th round, get to tie this match up for like the 3rd or 4th time now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who that kill was on in the connector. I think that was Jordan, but just come on, man. That was like, what are you doing? I'm sorry,
really gotta win
What
this.
are you doing? That was a really easy kill for him, man. And Selfless having a good T side here right now, man. Chance to go 7-8. Cloud9 on a really poorly bought round here, so everything is in favor of Selfless right now.
And Selfless are going to still be moving out for that top mid control early on, as we've seen for a lot of the half here. Moving over to smoke out the windows now.
And Cloud9 almost always gives that up. Every time we see them, they have a very passive mid control. They usually let you do whatever you want over there and just rely on their teammates holding, as Mitch just runs out of the smoke, pre-firing Stewie there and getting an awesome kill to give a big advantage to Selfless.
It's going to empty out the site, leaving for now only nothing and Skadoodle here. And Skadoodle, keep in mind, is playing with a shotgun at this point. They also realize this automatic's been here almost every single round so far, that he is going to be placed inside of that ladder room, and they even just confirmed that. He runs through the Molotov while he does dink Breeze. It's going to lead to him getting knocked out regardless here. Now putting this into a 5-on-3. I mean, Selfless have all options open at this point. They're going to force the remaining members of C9 to spread across the map, but it's really just a matter of time before they go for the execute here on A. But even with that, too, they still just wait a couple of extra seconds to see if anybody else will try to move out again and try to make up for some of these aggressive plays. But Breeze, irregardless of the 2 HP, grabs another instant headshot against nothing. Skadoodle's shotgun doesn't lead to anything at all. And for Shroud, well, obviously his odds aren't looking so good in the 1v5.
Yeah, odds are not looking so good indeed. Breeze, I've seen Selfless get so many kills, man, where they just have like 2 health. They're just one shot. We saw Caboose get that kill in connector on Jordan after he was dinked with 17. We just saw that kill, like really critical, crucial kills as well. And Skadoodle, when you're Mitch there, I think he actually pushed up a little bit too early on that A ramp, as we watched Shroud just try to win a miracle here, but it doesn't even come close as Selfless goes flying in. So
with that, guys, that is going to close out the first half. Second half is coming up in just a little bit right here at the ESL Pro League, so stick around for more.
He's going to get the 1 kill in that bomb incoming onto the side. FNX has to stay up. He gets the triple FNX. Oh my god, what a way to win that round. They don't have a smoke, so this orb is still.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Soylent, Xfinity, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, The Score Esports, Mountain Dew, and ESEA.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League. We're getting ready to get into the second half, of course, of Selfless versus C9. Before we do that, Daze, we need to have a bit of a discussion. You seem to be holding back on us, from your stream persona anyway.
Holding back, what do you mean?
I mean, just, we've seen the rage on stream. I mean, where is it here? We haven't seen it. You haven't been freaking out on these teams.
Rage? Freaking out? I think you got the wrong guy.
Well, I mean, we have some clips that may suggest otherwise. So Cameron, if we could we roll number 212, please?
Wait, a few feet behind him so that when your teammate dies, you know where he is and you can actually trade.
What?
Throwing smoke.
Come up.
Why?
He's car.
Why is he tunnel?
Playing triple, I think.
How does he kill me there? Are you fucking serious, Ocean?
You guys gonna be okay, though?
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
What? What? How fucking dumb is that?
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
That was so out of context, Blue. Like, first off,
oh,
I didn't... on those days, that was before I had my delicious Soylent, before I played Rank S. So you could see how, you know, that would affect a person, all right? And besides, that was my past. I've learned from my past.
this is a new leaf you're turning
yes,
over
I turned
now.
a new leaf, all right?
I got you.
This was in my younger days.
So we won't see any of this
Do you
in the
know it's
future.
my birthday today? You didn't even tell me happy birthday.
I'll be honest.
It is my birthday today.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Daze.
I'm older, I'm wiser now, man.
We'll
That's
have
in
to-
the past.
I'll have to get you a cake for later.
A cake?
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, those clips, of course, were played on ESA's Rank S. If you want a chance to rage with Dazed, well, go ahead over to ESA's website and sign up. You can earn your way through the rankings, and maybe you yourself will have the opportunity to sit on a Rank S pug with Dazed. What were your thoughts on that? Have you felt
If in ESEA, every Rank S, it had 9 people in Rank S, and then a random person from ESEA got to play with it, and then they could like pick whose team they're on.
utter chaos?
that would be chaos, dude. It would.
Just trolling with like a voice modifier.
Yeah,
in
some
the
like
game and stuff,
random
too.
rank D player gets in every game.
Sounds like me. Anyway.
I'm trying to get them to edit your history so it just says you're on Fnatic like every season or something. Like Fnatic, Envy, stuff like that. Cloud9.
Would be great. So anyway, we're getting back into the pistol round now for the second half, guys. Cloud9 on the T side and Selfless jumping onto the CT side. Very quick, we'll see Cloud9 working their way out over onto the A bomb site here. And as they move back in, Selfless, well, they're not even going to try to defend the bombs. It is back right up. It doesn't matter, though. Stewie runs over to the murder hole, grabs Nifty's head off anyway, and it's just Breeze left sitting here now as he tries to wait things out, hopefully looking for a trade or two here, but there comes no one. Oh!
Beautiful
No one not
shots,
only gets
man.
Stewie, but on the drop away, he grabs Automatic, too. All of a sudden, the tables have turned a little bit. Mitch is trying to sneak back in. They're not expecting this one, but his spray is very messy with the pistol. Able to grab the kill regardless, but Shrouded nothing traded up. Breeze jumping back in, and he's going to grab the final 2 kills. So Selfless, mainly off of the big efforts there of Breeze and No One, they do round it back, and they're going to pick up the pistol in this second half.
Dude, my boy, no one is on point.
He's
That's
your
my boy.
He's your boy?
Yeah,
Yeah?
he is. I pick him in rank S like every time. And he always picks me. One time I got really pissed at him though because he picked me. I'm like, no, why are you picking me? We haven't won in like 8 games. But he's hitting some really good shots this game. So is Breeze, man. Both these guys are performing incredibly well, winning both pistol rounds for Selfless. And that's something that they need against a team that is probably better than them, right? And Cloud9 just getting outplayed there.
So let's take a look at now how Cloud9 are going to look to respond to that, of course, in the second round. Grouping up at mid early on. Selfless, for the most part, taking the usual route about this one, actually. as we saw Cloud9 doing in the first half there. For the most part, they're going to play passively, not really looking to get in the way of that too much here. Nifty, though, ooh, has the scout shot lined up, but misses the head just by a little bit of a margin there. So Automatic does get past the cross. Elsewhere, though, Breeze found the first kill against Stewie. And also, we'll see him picking up a second one before actually getting knocked out by nothing. They still have Caboose sitting on the site with an SMG, though. He can play things back, wait for them to get a little bit closer. That bomb is on the site right now, too, but they're going to wait a few moments before actually deploying it to the ground. Nothing, the one holding that here, and hoping he can get the peek out from Caboose. I think they realize he's sitting back here. It's just a matter of getting him out to peek, and obviously the bait farm Nifty should have worked here, although Nifty isn't really helping out all that much. Caboose switching to the pistol, grabs not only Shroud, but nothing as well. And for Automatic, again, he's the last man standing, and while he does have no one in Caboose pretty low, with only 7 HP himself, it's going to be easy pickings for Mitch.
Yeah, almost. That was actually pretty dangerous for Selfless there, but Cloud9 not able to get some of those kills. You see they got some of those Selfless members really low. Pretty odd to see that A site interaction there, where they just know where he is and he's just crouching and just waiting. That was pretty good.
The ones that need to push me, not the other way around.
Exactly. That was smart. That was smart. A lot of people would panic there, but kept it cool.
So for Cloud9 here now, getting ready to, obviously on just the trash round for the most part, going to be trying to possibly actually move themselves over towards the B-bomb site. They sent Stewie out here for a little bit of control, but everybody else is getting ready to push themselves into the apartments pretty quickly. It's blind out there on the Nifty, but obviously the smokes, the follow-up do allow him to get away pretty much without any trouble at all. They know it's coming out. There's Nifty doing some good damage, and no one helping out with it too. No one, actually that play ended up working out so well for him as he'll get taken down by Automatic. Rest of his team's got it handled though. Breezy, Mitch, a lot of these guys getting a piece of the puzzle here. Last one alive is Stewie. Caboose trying to manage that, although he uses his whole clip.
What did you call that before, the murder hole?
What's that?
The murder hole?
Yeah.
I like that, man.
I've heard a few people call it that, actually.
Really?
I'm not the only one.
That's a good name for it. I like it.
I've heard a couple players call it
I don't even know what I call it. I just call it window.
It's like, yeah, it's like crawl space. Another one
I just call everything site box at sites. Just everything's just site box.
Yeah. Actually, that would probably piss a lot of people off on the A site, to be honest. Isn't like everything a box on that site?
I mean, I'm just messing around, but it is pretty funny if you just say site box, like on a new map or anything.
So now let's take a look here at Cloud9 on their gun round, of course, as well. They're going to waste no time with this at all. Just walking right into the site. Automatic finding a first one. Shroud trading. Caboose did pick up his first of his kills from sitting underneath of the platform there. But again, it's only going to be one. And at the end of the day here, Selfless are left in a 3-on-4. Not the greatest positioning as this take happens literally as soon as the round gets started there. They didn't really have a whole lot of time to prepare for that. So now they've just got 2 stuck in CT and 1 that's trying to wrap in through ladder room into window.
Yeah, Cloud9 completely surprising the Selfless players in Breeze and Caboose as they just run out of A-halls. There's no excuse not to be ready for something like that. But as we saw, Stewie just hits an amazing shot onto Mitch, which no one does trade out around the ladder room. And now it's just trying to get, to save these guns. Nifty and CT spawn. He does have a kit in the smoke, so he might try something here. It looks like he is.
He's going to go for this too. He's jumping on it now. 5 seconds left. Shroud. Unfortunately, the smoke is thrown not far enough.
Almost. I like the attempt though. That was good. That was good stuff.
He had tossed it just a couple inches further. More than likely, Shroud still would have probably gotten that kill because he knew it was happening.
Well, if he defused on the right side, I think he definitely could have won it. Like if you throw the smoke properly, but instead of being on the bomb, you're more to the right at an angle. I think you
just
definitely
throw it
could
off
have
a little bit there, not to make it like you just ran right up to it.
And if you time the flash a little bit better, so you could hold that right click as long as you want. So he could have done it like when Shroud was coming up and make sure to blind him. But he did a little bit too early. But those are really difficult things to do, man. Like he's probably been in that situation, even as long as he's been playing Counter-Strike, a handful of times. So it's not something you do all the time. It's tough.
It's not something you prepare for on
exactly
a daily basis, essentially. So Cloud9, of course, just go for top mid control again. And much like C9 was in the first half, Selfless are pretty much dodging it as well. Although they're even, to a certain degree, they're even more passive about it too. There's not even anyone in the general vicinity of like window room or cat. Most of them are just focusing completely on the sites. They just now rotated Nifty away from B, and he's moving in through the crawl space to hold window here still. But beyond that, you only have...
It's the murder hole.
Sorry. Moving in through the murder hole.
Yes.
It's like actually the first and second time I called it that too.
Yeah, I like it, man. I think it's cool. I'll probably start calling it that. Blue taught me.
Probably the one thing I thought. But nothing's going to move in there. He'll pick up the first kill. Actually, it'll be Automatic grabs it, but Stewie grabbing another one against Breezy. Breeze after he finds one of his own. Now bringing this into a 4-on-3, and again, Selfless are rotating, but positionally, they're not really going to find themselves in the best spot to try and actually retake this bomb site. Unless they can pick up some of those early kills, it's going to be tough to work their way back in now. 2 of them already working up towards Ticket pretty quickly, too. And they're going to start moving their way back in, but Mitch is the one that really needs to shine through here. Thankfully, his first target's one of the easiest, automatic, down to like 5 HP. It's just going to be knocked out of there pretty quickly. They are trying to bait out the shot now from Skadoodle, but unfortunately, that doesn't work at all. On top of the backside trip stack, he finds 1. Mitch, though, trades out 2 more as he wraps back over. And all of a sudden, he's sitting on a 3K and a 1v1, but then blind peeks Skadoodle and gives him his second kill and the closing kill on the round for C9.
Yeah, and C9 just getting these entries, getting these trades, if they don't get the entries, and taking sites pretty cleanly right now. So Selfless gets put on an eco. We should be able to see an 11-10 scoreline, but I think it should only be 1 save for Selfless. They'll probably buy this upcoming round. Might not have an op, though.
So with this following it up, of course, most of them have actually just gone for the risk stack over here on the A-bomb site, which may yield them the frag on a Stewie. 2 of them underneath. Oh no, Stewie's caught one of them just walking back, and Stewie with a crazy spray transfer even gets all 4 of them. Oh my god, just destroys the entire defense setup, and Mitch is left as the last man standing.
They gotta stop being surprised, man. Like, that's the second time at A we've seen them just... The round starts, get into your spot, sit there, and be ready, instead of just moving around like mid-round when people can run out of places. So that's the second time we've seen that happen, and it's just... First round, you know, that round wasn't that big of a deal because you're saving, but the very first time it happened, that was the very first gun round, where you're just like, oh, they could be here at this point? Like, come on, man, like, get it together. You gotta get into a spot and play your spot early into the round and be ready for things like that.
So now for Cloud9 here, wow, almost back in full control of the matchup here too. Really only this one last gun round to get through, of course, and they're going to re-break Selfless again. And once more, similarly to some of the past rounds, Selfless, after an initial quick check from Nifty, no presence at all on mid. Cloud9 just walk right up, take it fully. They only have the 3 on the sites to worry about here. Thankfully for them, though, Cloud9 initially were looking on going for an A hit, but with the loss of Stewie, this could change up, especially considering how easily they get cat control. Even there, though, another punishment rolls out from Nifty as he re-peeks in connector and shuts down automatic.
Yeah, that was a well-timed smoke by Nifty. He actually waited until they smoked top connector, and then he threw his smoke. So kind of neutralizing that. Almost making them waste the smoke and making Cloud9 try to hurry their actions. As Shroud gets boosted into the window room, Molotov comes, gets that kill onto Nifty right outside the murder hall. And now Cloud9 in a 3v4, but with no map control. A players are both pushed up into A halls and A ramps, so they could just not even worry about A right now. They really don't have to worry about it. And you could tell Selfless knew that Stewie lurks A by himself. He's the one with A presence. After they killed him, they were able to take very, pushed up, advantageous positions, and now that frees up their teammates to just watch B. That's all they have to worry about. CT spawn, flank, cat, and B. That's it. And so this should be a Selfless round.
So now we're looking at Selfless here, just trying to make sure that nothing else goes awry in the remainder of this hold here. And Cloud9's really struggling to find that opportunity to get them onto a bomb site. Only 20 seconds left, though they are going to need to make a move soon. They'll move up towards A, get control of it here. Caboose! Oh, he's spotted by Shroud. And Shroud does a double take there, is able to roll back over there just as Caboose was trying to look away. He's taken out of the mix, and all of a sudden this is evened up once again into a 3-on-3 as Selfless take up positions to retake.
Yeah, just no sense in getting that aggressive there if you're at A ramp, as Breeze gets the secondary flank, gets that kill, 3v2, but this could go either team's way right now.
And obviously we will see Breeze moving back in there. The quick shutdown has left it just onto Skadoodle here to hold, and Breeze, oh my god, runs
He's hitting
right
some
out there.
Nice shots, man. Mirage is like his map. Every time we watch him on Mirage, he just goes off. Every single time. He's 25 and 12 right now, top fragger in the server. Selfless wins a great round there. That A retake almost worked against them because Cloud9 just sniffed it out and were able to run through connector with almost 0 contact being made, but they didn't expect that second guy at A ramp after they killed the first one, winning that round for Selfless.
So now as, again, Cloud9 try to struggle back into this match, they were 1 away from tying it back up, and all of a sudden they've lost that even more so. But the money worked out in their favor as they were able to pick up their 3 rounds in a row, some of them pretty cleanly too, specifically on that eco, where Stewie just pretty much wrecked the whole team. Now, though, Nifty getting the first kill, essentially, as Automatic walks right into him here. Breeze a little bit more trouble holding beneath the platform here, and that leaves Caboose out to dry, too. Nothing going to take him out without any trades at all. They do get some good damage on Stewie, but that's about it here. Left in a 3-on-4, and again, denying any early retake pressure at all from Selfless by smoking and molotoving off most of these pressure angles.
Yeah, and again, another early take towards A. Catches Selfless by surprise. They're not in a good setup to deal with it. And they just Fnatic them, man. They just get those. It's like the Fnatic way of life right there. The old Fnatic just run out, get the trade kills immediately. And what's been so successful for Cloud9 is that exact playstyle. You go out, you battle together, you use your aim, you don't rely too much on utility. You don't give them a chance to rely too much on utility. Get those kills, and then just hold for that post plant. So we see Selfless is saving here, 3-on-4. Cloud9's on a chase though, so we'll see if they're able to save their guns. They're in great spots to save. I don't think Cloud9 will get any kills here, as they opt not to chase too much further. And 12-11, Selfless still with the advantage and the lead in this map. They are also on CT side Mirage. It tends to be a CT sided map, but with the way Cloud9's playing, it's looking much more T-sided right now.
With those saves, though, it still gives Selfless something to work with, where otherwise this might have been just an outright save round here. A bit surprised we don't see them sending like a gun over towards Breeze or something like that. Mitch would have been sitting at around 3,100 at the beginning of this round, but they decided instead just to let them buy up their own pistols. And for Mitch, No One, and Nifty, they're the ones that get the early utility buys here. So only 3 big guns to worry about, however, and Cloud9 again just taking that fast mid-control here. And Opshot rings true onto nothing, but it is not enough to get the kill. He survives that with just a single health point here, and Shroud responds. I believe partially through the smoke, finds Nifty. And not only this, but Automatic seeking him through Connector, and the timing on that acts as a distraction. Stewie walks right out there from the Palace area, takes down Caboose. Skadoodle finding another one elsewhere here, just shutting these guys down systematically, one by one. Mitch and No One are, well, nowhere near the action point here now. So for Mitch and No One, similarly to quite a few rounds of the past, they're left with really no choice but to save.
Yeah, Cloud9 hasn't been hitting B very much, and Selfless had multiple opportunities to change up their setup and just play like forward towards A or something like that, where they're clearly favoring. And we'll see what happens now, right, as Mitch kills Stewie jumping through that window. But as a strat caller on T side, you say, well, are they going to adapt this upcoming gun round? We've constantly been going A. We put most of our pressure towards A. We've won almost every round at A. Do we, fake it and go B, or what do we do here? And then on the same CT side, it's the same thing, right? It's always like that eternal question when you're strat calling of whether we adapt or we expect them to adapt and don't adapt. What would you do, Blue?
If I'm Selfless right now?
Are you the one to adapt as your CT side, or are you the one to say, I think they're gonna adapt, so we're gonna do like the same thing?
Probably adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm the one that adapts.
Okay.
I don't wait for them to adapt.
You are the one that adapts.
Yeah.
You're the one that knocks. You ever watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah. It's a good scene, man. Very dark scene, but it's a good scene.
Surprised you were able to watch it. I thought you were only allowed to watch like PG-13.
We're going back here now.
You're able to. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know. It's a big step.
I introduced my dad to that show one time, and he like really liked it. But then like my mom tried to watch it with us, and she just thought it was like the most deplorable thing ever. Because she's like a good, wholesome American.
Yeah.
None of that violence or drugs or anything like that for her.
Wow. So you're more like your mom.
God damn it. There's just no getting away from it, is there?
Anyways, it's live, Blue. Come on, man.
Shroud,
You gotta cast, man. You gotta
Shroud's gonna
cast.
find the first pickup here against No One, leaving it with 4 alive for Selfless here now. Caboose also with a position inside of the window room here, which is a bit uncommon. And, well, they might as well have stuck to the more passive route, as, again, he just gets wrecked right at the start. Automatic finding the first kill. And, again, much like many rounds in the past, Cloud9 having no problems at all. Not even really needing to use utility to find these entries here. They're just walking right up and headshotting them. So Breezy and Nifty, much like many rounds in the past, they're going to have no choice but to save. But this time, it's a bit reversed. Finally, Cloud9 go for the B take, and it's the A players that have to sit back and save.
Yep. Well, you said you would have adapted if you're Selfless, and look what happened, Blue. They went towards being
just a mind reader.
Yeah, I actually wasn't really paying that much attention to that round because
we were in a very engaging discussion about Breaking Bad.
Yeah, pretty much. But Cloud9, as you see, like every time though, they're just taking the gun battles and winning those gun battles, and then like the post plant is so easy, man. When you have like flashbangs and smokes and molotovs and you don't use any utility on the initial site take, it's so easy to hold post plant. Like so easy. You just molotov, smoke. It's almost impossible to lose it. So forcing Selfless to never even have a chance at those post plant situations and just have to save. But they're not in a terrible spot. 12 to 13. They will probably save around this. Maybe they'll buy. Not sure. It's an interesting choice for them. No one just at an angle that does not work out for him very well. That slow pick by Shroud crushes that. And Selfless not looking so hot on their CT side.
Not at all here, as they were starting off with a great lead, and we're even fighting back quite nicely against C9 here, but now things have gone a little bit south as we are left into, well, not even a buy-up really at all from any of these players that did manage to make it into the next round. No one just picking up a Deagle armor buy. Mitch and Caboose only buying P250s, and obviously the saved guns on Nifty and Breeze, but that doesn't mean much. Is now Cloud9, well, they found another strat that works, and they're going to stick to it this time. 4 players trying to push their way up, although that's a great early peek from Nifty back out in mid there. He finds Stewie trying to creep up towards mid. Now they've got to defend against the B hit itself, but again, bad positioning early on here leads to 3 quick kills. First C9, with only Mitch trading out one of them within that bomb site. Breezy and Caboose, last 2 alive, but again, they're so far from the action here. At the very least, they start their rotations earlier, since they are already able to hold off a couple seconds, but it means very, very little now, as they're going to try to push their way back in, but there's nothing to be found. Cloud9 already set up in post plants, and it was a very direct take, much like many of these rounds before. Caboose actually just going to get shut down by Skadoodle there, tries to crouch underneath the shot, doesn't pay off, and Breeze tries to go for the peak, but when he tries to escape, Skadoodle again impacting from the window this time, stops him from moving away, and a 14th round for C9 and no saves at all for Selfless.
Yeah, and I think like a double op setup would work really well for Selfless here with how Cloud9 is playing. If you have like an op at the B halls, that's going to shut that down. You're not going to be able to do any type of contact play. Op at CT spawn, as long as it's, you know, a well, you know how to play CT spawn, probably going to stop that as well. You'll be able to get a kill, know where they are, stay alive, and probably have them, you know, positionally cornered, as Nifty gets another entry right there at middle. It's his 2nd entry in a row right now. Actually 3rd, I think. He got one with M4 as well. So Nifty doing his part on the CT side to make it easier on his team, although it hasn't contributed to too many round wins, as A and B, both sites have been taken pretty easily, but giving them a good advantage in this round.
And now it leaves the C9 players with just their opportunity to push directly into a Selfless, though. The first time in a while, being able to rotate appropriately into this. They'll get the direct battle for it. It'll be essentially just a 4-on-3 as they push back in. 4-on-2 now as nothing finds that first entry. They know Breezy's going to be underneath that platform because he's played that so many rounds in the past. Caboose finding at least one on the site, but again, it's not traded out very well at all. He's only going to pick up that 1 kill, and Stewie immediately just knocks him out. A quick 1-2 punch there. So for Mitch and no one, they do wrap back outside of the site, but they've got 1 flashbang to retake this with. And ultimately, they're probably just going to try to go for this here to keep them in the match at this point. Now, no one wrapping back in. There's their first flash being tossed over now here, but it doesn't connect onto anyone at all here. In fact, it hits one of the CTs, I believe. No one finding that first kill. Mitch to trade it out, but Scott again impacting big time here. Closes out the final 2 kills and puts C9 up to match point.
Yeah, C9 putting on a clinic, man. Like, that was a really, really, really well-played round by them in that 4v5. Jordan coming up connector did not even take his eyes off under balcony for a second. Gets a really nice kill onto Breeze, I believe it was there, as I think we are getting into a pause, right, Blue?
Yeah, I believe this will be tactical in nature here for Selfless, but ultimately, with the losses that they've just suffered, the buy that they're going to have is, at most, for a lot of these guys, just going to be FAMASs, and for some, won't even really have great utility buys behind it, so no ops being brought into play. Essentially, I don't think there's really going to be any M4s either, so just a last-minute scrub-together buy. They've got 1 round to impact with, so this pause, well, it finally does come in. Unfortunately, it's happening a little bit late.
Yeah, and we see them continually lose rifle versus rifle gun battles. That's why I think that double up setup would have worked really well. I mean, if you have an op on CT spawn, anybody trying to come out A halls or A ramp, you're going to have a gigantic advantage on. And if they're not throwing much utility and they're not throwing many flashbangs, you're probably going to win that round pretty cleanly. And you're going to force them to have to respect that. You have to make people respect you, right, when it comes to just straight peeking. If Cloud9 is going to feel comfortable just straight peeking you, and are going to consistently win those gun battles, the main way to make them respect that is to have ops, auto snipers, things like that, or even mag 7s up close in certain areas can really punish that as well. If you have to do like a low buy or something like that, we're not seeing that at all here from Selfless. They're content with playing the same play style that they've been getting crushed using and not adapting.
Yep, and with that, obviously, it's left them in a huge deficit here, 12-15, now having to win these next 3 rounds straight, and that won't even guarantee them the possibility to win this match. They're just going to take it into overtime there, or reset, and we'll have to see them go over again. Not only this, too, but in the sequence of rounds that Cloud9 has been able to pick up, they're sitting on a pretty big lump of cash, specifically Skadoodle, who I don't think has died in the past, like, 2 or 3 rounds. He's almost always been the last man standing, even though it has come down to those closer situations. He's sitting at just $1,000 under max money, whereas a lot of these other guys are floating somewhere between about 7 to 8K. The lowest is Stewie down at 2.3, but Skadoodle's amount easily makes up for that. So Cloud9 have no economy troubles for the rest of this half at all. It's all going to come down to what Selfless brings to the table.
Yeah, and you know, even the rounds they've had the advantages in, still lose them. You know, it's been 4v5 3 different times. Nifty's made a 4v5 3 times so far, but they never change up their setup. I mean, the 2 players at A are always playing very static positionally. Like you said, they knew he was under Balk. Like Jordan knew exactly where he was. They're not making it difficult on Cloud9 at all. They're content with letting Cloud9 completely control the pace, getting to the positions that they want, and really doing what they want instead of making them uncomfortable. And I'm telling you right now, watching this, there's so many holes that Cloud9 actually does have, where if you had like a Mixwell as well on Selfless, like if Mixwell was playing Cat or something like that, and he was moving around around the map with an op, same with Nifty, it would be 4v5 every single round, like every single round, not just the 3 rounds Nifty got, but every single round. If you had like 2 capable ops like that, because there is openings all over the place. Selfless content though with playing the way they are.
Yep. We do still see the game in a pause at this point, guys. It should be getting unpaused, I believe, as I think the limit's only like 2 or 3 minutes or so at this point. So we should be seeing things get unpaused at any moment. When we do, obviously, it's gonna be do or die time. And in fact, it is getting unpaused right now, so we can jump back into the game and see if this will have any effect at all on Selfless's attempt at a comeback, or if Cloud9 is just going to shut things down here in this final round. And well, since it was a bit of a lengthy pause here too, Selfless taking all this time to adapt and maybe think of something like super tactical. We've seen in the past too, some teams just throw this out the window and then rush a site, which
Yeah,
may be a possibility for Cloud9.
Right now, but Cloud9 grouped up towards B. This is a great counter for them.
And they're going to waste no time to pushing up. Already flashbangs going out. The player that was trying to play close to Van here, Caboose, is completely blind. The problem is, though, is it's a fairly slow follow-up into the apartments themselves, so that leaves a lot of time in it. That leaves a lot of time for the Selfless players to rotate from mid out over here to be out in this site, but even they're going to be a bit unsure of this here now, too, since there's no follow-up from C9. Stewie creeping back up here. First challenger will be Mitch on the other end here. He's just trying to jump right through it with the knife out too. Moving in, he spotted the first player down below Van. That's their first focus. Second focus on this side, Trod and Stewie. Nicely done, taking quick control of things. Even the pressure working its way in on the flank for two is going to be a bit slow. While no one does grab that first kill, he'll immediately get traded out by Stewie. Now Nifty trying to work his way back in, although he kind of smokes himself off. Regardless though, pushes right through it, so smoke is a bit of a moot point. Spots the 2 players sitting back here, and they don't see him, so he spotted 2 of them, knocked out 1 of them. Brings this into 3-on-2. Still favor for C9 at this point, but the bomb's been on the ground for a few seconds here. Nifty trying to wrap back in to hold a good position here, but Automatic actually looks away just as that other CT pushes back in. Regardless, though, Automatic and Stewie are going to close things out. So there you have it. Cloud9 take the first map. 16-13 is going to be the final scoreline here, and with that, obviously, they'll still get to keep their record. Ultimately, just I think with 1 loss still on the board here for them as they go like 19-1 or something like that now.
Yeah, just really great T-side performance there. We even saw on that B site, man, they basically had a full stack. Cloud9 strategically did not, what they wanted to do was they wanted to throw their nades, bait out the counters, have their defense reset, and then hit site at B when they don't have any utility. Instead, they had like 4 people at B with Selfless, but none of them played it properly. The teammates that weren't in position to get kills didn't shoot their guns just to bait it out for their other teammates so that they looked there. And just consistently couldn't get any of the, not necessarily the first gun battles because Nifty won 3 of those, but the gun battles where you're actually taking sites, Cloud9 won every single one of them. Like they just annihilated them. Whenever they would come to site control, they would get them.
All right, guys, so that is going to close out the first map here. Second one's coming up in just a little bit, but before we get to it, we have some analysts waiting to discuss the match. So guys, tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the map number 1.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Selfless just falling short. You know, maybe C9 a little bit upset against Optic, well, their loss against Optic, and then taking Pistol was good for, you know, Selfless and could have potentially, you know, ran away with that one, but just a bad CT side really is what it came down to.
Yeah, T side was good. I think all night we've made good adjustments to how a team is playing some of their gun rounds. We've done a really good job of changing things up if we recognize a potential weakness that gets exploited. It was a really, really good T half, but then CT half, it just wasn't there. They were able to, basically without almost any executes, be able to just like rush a site and get the first kill or two. And the post plants on the T side for Cloud9 were really strong.
Yeah, and round 9 was pretty big for Selfless. This was the 5-0 run that finally got put to an end. And walk us through this one.
Yeah, so it's just good control of middle. Some fortunate timing here for Mitch on Stewie, as Stewie had pushed up. But going up with early number advantage, getting the pick on the guy connector. I think they also killed, forget who it was in that window room area that had peeked back out to try to even the numbers up. And this was one of the rounds where it was a pretty good post plant, not a lot of opportunity here. Breeze peeks up from stairs and gets the last 2 kills, if I remember correctly. So this was a good round. The rounds were very, very close in the first half, so it was the type of round that when you won it, you broke a 5-0 streak, and I think it also put them on a reset economy-wise. That's how close those 5 rounds had been up to that point.
Yeah, and then in round 25, that's when C9 kind of broke the economy for you guys. And it happened with the B push. They were going A constantly, and right when the guys were talking about maybe switch up the strat, watch A a little bit more, they end up just switching it up and going to B. So just a nice call from C9.
Yeah, and just a really bad angle from no one. He needs to know that the op can walk that angle, and it's basically a free pick. And at that point, the rotates aren't moving fast enough to have control of the site. I actually feel like the greatest weakness that we saw on the CT side of Selfless was that connector area. It's pretty common for teams, even Cloud9, that they kind of conceded middle pretty regularly, as did the CT side for Selfless. But the timing, it just seemed like even when Nifty would hit a really nice early shot and give them a 5v4 to start with, they would just slow it down, they'd get in a connector, and the fights that were being taken from connector were either always lost or somebody was getting caught with a nade out or getting shot in the back. It just seemed like it was kind of like a blind spot constantly for the CT side. And there was even the round that I think it was Shroud runs across in front of the bench towards triple, and Breeze is under balcony, the 2 players in A, just completely on an island, and something that's pretty easy to stop. It's pretty easy to use good utility. I think when Nifty played connector, he did it really well, but other than that, I think the connector was a big area of weakness CT side for Selfless.
Yeah, Nifty's been playing pretty solid today for Selfless. We'll see if they can bounce back on the next map, which is going to be Overpass. But guys, I want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to thescoreesports.com. Go on and take out your phone, iOS or Android device on the Google Play App Store. It is the best place for news and stats, so make sure you check it out. And don't go anywhere. We're going to have the next map between these 2 teams right after the break.